All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. We got special guest here, MrDodgy, the infamous MrDodgy of chess Twitter. Thanks for joining. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for inviting me. This is really cool. I'm glad to be here. I hope I'm going to learn some stuff because I'm doing this Chess Punks tournament, which I'm very excited about. And they said that I could get some free lessons from, and I've actually got Grandmaster Danny King doing my lessons, but I thought that wasn't enough. Like I think I needed more help before the tournament, so I'm getting extra lessons, and I don't feel bad about it to the other competitors. So.
Good, good. You shouldn't. No, I mean, well, I reached out because I know you recently joined like the dojo training program. I know you're getting a little bit back into like OTB chess, and yeah, any way we can help you win this chess punks thing, I think would be great, would be awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
So
Yeah, I did join the dojo. I thought this would be a good way to prepare for, the next month. And then I was genuinely like I use this as an excuse a lot of the time to say that I'm busy, but I was genuinely super busy for like 2 weeks in a row. Where I did a lot of traveling, was on the other side of the planet, and then also launched a non-profit at the same time. But now I have a little bit more free time to like pay attention to chess for the next 11 days. So I'm hoping to do as much as possible.
awesome. And the nonprofit you're talking about, the Women in Chess Foundation, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really the only reason I'm here is to promote the Women in Chess Foundation. I just kind of tricked my way into the onto the stream. But yeah, we launched the Women in Chess Foundation. You can go check it out on Twitter, Women in Chess, and yeah, it's a very cool thing that we're trying to do. Hopefully, we can get more women into chess. So
That's great. I'm definitely rooting for you guys to win to win the battle. uh, awesome. So okay, right. So you've got all right. We're gonna focus on the chess punks final, which I understand is next weekend, and it's gonna be a series of rapid matches. It's gonna be knockout, rapid, possibly blitz, and yeah, for anyone that like hasn't played a lot of chess recently, or like yeah, like you said, you've been busy and you're trying to get into form for a tournament, especially blitz and rapid events. Main advice I always give, and I said this okay before the stream, but I'll say it for people on the stream. It's like try to play as much as you can. Try to practice the time control that you're going to be playing, as well as specifically like the increment. Like you're going to be playing 15 plus 5. Playing with a 5 second increment is very different from playing with a 0 second increment or 1 second increment. 5 seconds, you can actually build up time in an endgame. Especially, if you're winning, you have some simple moves to make, or you have a simple position, it can play itself. Being able to play simple positions without blundering and making good moves, I think that could be a total difference maker in the field. And possibly that's something we might work on if we have a chance to do another lesson. Maybe have you play out some positions with not a lot of like 1 minute plus 5 second increments, something like that, to give you some extra practice in handling the time trouble.
cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. So for today, what I wanted to do is something I often do when I like my first time working with someone is to kind of just watch you calculate in real time and see what kind of tactics come easy for you, what kind of puzzles are more challenging, if there's any kind of patterns to the mistakes you're making. Maybe there's specific tactics you're not approaching the right way. I think there's few things better than just having someone just solve puzzles in front of you. Maybe voice their thoughts. You honestly don't have to. I'm fine if you're totally silent and just trying to focus. But yeah, watching you do some quick tactics, I think will at least give us something to work on the calculation side.
Okay, cool. So did you want me to play like the timed one or just survival?
I would like you to do the timed puzzle rush,
Uh-huh.
the 5 minute one
But okay.
before
Classic puzzle rush.
the classic, yeah, classical puzzle rush.
The original one.
Before you start though, let me just give me one second here. All right, that should be good. Actually, let's do. Great. Just want to need to do like a quick tweet. We're live.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that site. Is it still around?
What's that?
Is it still around? This Twitter website?
For now it is. Yeah, for now it is. We'll see. We'll see how long it lasts.
He's trying to drive it into the ground.
Oh my god. It's I have so many complaints now about the new Twitter. But yeah, maybe.
You know, it all went downhill after he'd replied to me.
Who replied?
He replied to me in October last year, and then he took over the site at the end of that month, and then it was gone.
Elon replied?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't hear.
I'm sorry, have we never spoken to? I'm kind of a big deal on Twitter.
Oh, I'm aware. I didn't know you had some famous Elon interaction.
Yeah, it was a very, I mean, it was a weird experience anyway, but it was particularly weird for me because I had a minor operation. It was just a kind of small surgery, but it was a general anesthetic, so I was, completely out cold. And I did a tweet. It was in the middle of all the hand stuff, and I did a pretty funny tweet before I'd gone to sleep, and was unconscious for a few hours, and I woke up, and they're like, yeah, it's fine, you can go away. So they put me in a cab, and I first thing I do, obviously, get the phone out, look on Twitter, and I was like, I'm getting a lot of notifications, and I think, looks like apparently Elon Musk has replied to me, and I'm thinking, maybe this anesthetic hasn't worn off fully yet. Maybe I'm hallucinating, the richest man on earth responding to my shit posts. But yeah, he replied with a pretty crappy joke.
That's amazing. And did you respond back?
I think I just retweeted it and just said, oh my. It was just very weird. And then the thing is, with Elon at that point, all of his replies were bots. There was just everything he tweeted, there would just be thousands of crypto bots responding to him immediately. So I had to mute the tweet just within minutes because I was just getting bombarded with notifications.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I'm sure all those tweets they just fill up quickly with all kinds of stuff, like scams even.
It was weird, but yeah. And then it's been all downhill since then. So.
Wow, I'm sure we'll look back and see that as the watershed moment.
Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Okay, almost ready here. While you're solving, I'll mute on our call, so I'll talk to chat and hopefully not distracts you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, feel free to express your thoughts while you're doing it, or not. Honestly, I want you to, treat it as seriously as you would one of these qualifier games.
Okay.
Or the championship games. So yeah, let's do it whenever you're ready.
There we go.
All right, I'll mute. Okay, here we go. So this is the 5-minute puzzle rush, and we're just gonna watch, see how Dodgy does it. Of course, these first puzzles are very, very simple mates, so I don't expect him to really struggle on these too much. He's using the full screen board, which I think is gonna make him a tiny bit slower than. Oh, this is an interesting one because there's a choice, but he figured it out quickly. Good, good. So yeah, first thing we're kind of evaluating is just the basic. This is all pure pattern recognition. So yeah, he had to see queen f3 check. He's gonna take, and somewhere around, I don't know, 20 or 30, we'll see. The puzzles are going to leave the pattern zone. And all right, this is knight g6. Let's see. Yep, he finds it. And at some point, you're going to have to start actually kind of calculating, because the positions won't be recognizable. These are all just, yeah, very typical mates. This one, okay, you have to calculate for a second. Yeah, he's going to take the rook, take the knight. So spots that one. Okay, famous puzzle where we're in check. Okay, knight c5 is very easy. Queen h6. So far so good. So far he's crushing it. Okay, this one looks a little tricky. This one not so obvious. I think it's just queen h3. No, there's 97. Yeah, knight f3. Oh, white takes. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I was confused there because knight f3, king h1. So that was a weird puzzle. Okay, this one he's looking for check, and maybe the rook comes in. Okay, simple pattern here. Yeah, what does the machine want exactly? Okay, next one. This looks like takes and queen d5 he has to find. So yeah, he's hesitating because he knows it's rook f8. He just, yeah, wasn't sure about the follow-up, but he spotted it. And I didn't mention this to him, but I definitely want to focus on accuracy more than speed. So in general, I would much rather someone take a few extra seconds and make sure they get it right, than try to blitz things out just because they're aiming for their high score. Okay, what's going on here? Check. Yeah, I didn't ask him for anything further. Okay, queen d1, you got to be precise. You can take on f3. Okay, mate in one. Yeah, sometimes you get those. Another mate in one. Wow. Okay, surprising amount of mate in ones here. Oh, he went too fast there. He had mate in one. That's fine. Okay, this looks like knight f7. Yeah, and queen d3 is mate. Okay, this is take with check. Yep, and then you can just take on f6 here, probably with the queen, I would think. Okay, that's a great puzzle to think about. We're definitely going to look at that one. Because taking with the queen there, I think he could have found. Okay, here he's going b4. He's calculating the queen trap. Yep, c pawn takes. Good. Now he's on two strikes. Now you have to be extremely precise. Okay, this is a tricky one. What's this? What's this? This could be some weird bishop d3. Rook takes rook f7. Oh, rook c7 he found. Wow, that's nice. Honestly, I didn't even see rook c7. I was not thinking that's the answer. Okay, rook d8, and I think c3 here. Okay, you didn't have time. All right, good work. Let's look at these. Let's look at the ones. Okay, this last one you had like no time, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you want to try again real quick, that would be cool.
Okay. It's c3.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
C3, queen takes e4. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I'm pretty sure that's it. Okay, yeah. Let's review the ones you missed. That was a very good first run, by the way. That was pretty solid.
Okay, this.
Okay, so here White played rook e1, so the rook was on e1.
Okay. I missed knight e2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's a little weird. They gave you like three main and ones in the
Yeah,
30s for some reason, which is unexpected. So
no, I think I was distracted because I had this pattern of if the knight can't block, I had this queen d3 and then check thing in a previous puzzle. I think that's why I still had it in my brain. But yeah, okay, this is fairly
yeah,
obvious.
that's fine. Honestly, I'm not worried about this one. The other one actually was
Yeah,
interesting.
I saw this afterwards. Like I should just stick with the queen. Like this was, yeah.
Right, exactly. Um, and this I think is this is actually a little bit where you can kind of metagame because of course there's only one solution,
Mm-hmm.
and at first glance it looks like you can win a piece two different ways, either bishop f6 or queen f6. And then if whenever you have a moment where it feels like you have two wins, then you have to definitely pause because okay, it means one of them is not working, and you have to figure it out. Sometimes it's a matter of luck. Like if you looked at queen takes f6 first, you would see, okay, that's a piece up, and then there's no way that could be wrong. It's,
Yeah, yeah, I just miscalculated this, but yeah, I think if you see queen takes immediately, then
yeah,
it's pretty
then you
obvious.
don't basically you don't even need to calculate bishop takes f6 because it's like well
Yeah,
queen f6 is good. And in game, of course, if you have time, you should of course like think about it because you don't know if there's only one solution. There could be two solutions. But you also just have to find one win in a game as well. One win is enough, and it doesn't have to be the best one. It just has to be a clear win.
yep.
Okay, but that was a good run. Let's do another.
I have such a bad. I have a high score in 3 minutes than 5 minutes, and it's
Really?
not deliberate. Like I just can't seem to get above 40.
That's that's surprising. Are you when you're playing the 3 minute? Are you trying to like blitz it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like in 3 minutes, I go as fast as I can. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
don't know.
might be why. Oh, but I didn't mention this. But yeah, I do want you to for this focus on accuracy. So I really don't care about your high score. I would rather you get a run with no mistakes, if
Okay.
possible. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So, all right, let's go again. Okay, round two. No, first one was good. I mean, 37 I think is absolutely fine. All right, these first few are just going to be mates. Mates, simple tactics. Yep, that was mate in two, mate in one, mate in one, rook g3, mate in two, rook g3, mate in three, rook h1. Oh, this dude again. Yeah, didn't we ask you to like stop with the trolling there, buddy? We gave you fair warning last time, so it's gonna be a ban if you keep it up. All right, mate in two. Okay, Oh, this one's tricky. Rook h6, queen g3 looks like the win. Okay, very nice. Okay, here you can take on d5. Question is with what? Gotta be with the bishop here. As queen takes, there'll be queen g2 at the end. Yeah, so bishop takes and just take the queen. Very good. Okay, this is just a few move calculation. Check, take the queen, rook b5. Rook a5. Another mate. Another mate here. Bishop e6, knight c6. This looks like knight e5, and then probably knight c6 check. Ooh. Okay, he went too quick there. He went too quick because he gave the queen, but then he was only winning back the rook. Okay, there the connection slowed down. Here, bishop c3 needs to calculate though. Bishop c3, queen f2. Yeah, we'll definitely review this one. Hey, Saad, he's about 20-40 feet, he was saying. Okay, he found it. I think one piece of feedback I'm going to give him, I think actually he needs to actually kind of slow down a bit. I think some of those mistakes are happening from being a little bit too fast and not checking for options, which is hard because it's puzzle rush, so you don't have a lot of time. Okay, this should be, doesn't look like white has a lot here. Should be rook h6, rook e3. Yeah, exactly. Very nice. Okay, I think this is going to be a pin, rook c8. Sneaky candidate move. Looks like he sees it. Very good. Oh boy. This should be queen c7. Looks like a mate. Queen comes into c2. Next one, take, bishop f5. Okay, here it's main in 1. He's confused because he's not expecting main in 1. No, don't go queen h2. Don't do it. Okay, bit of a blind spot with these like main in 1s when he's not expecting a main in 1. Yeah, easy. Okay, next, I think you trade everything and you go a5, but take with check. Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay, nice. Let's review that one you got wrong. So here, I think, yeah, if you hit the arrow key.
Big. Yeah, I guess you just grab the queen and then you pick up the bishop. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought this was mate. So.
Oh, I gotcha.
I just hallucinated that this was mate.
Yeah, no worries. Then let's go back. There was one you got right, but I wanted to talk about it a bit because I thought it was interesting. I think it was a few afters where the first move is bishop c3 check. Not this one. You're playing black. Yeah, this one.
This one. Yeah. I was trying to find a mate here.
Right. So, well,
But yeah,
So
there's
white goes bishop g2, right? That's where the puzzle starts.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
And then it looked like you saw bishop c3 right away. But then if I read it correctly, you got worried about queen takes c3 because your queen is also hanging.
Um, I'm trying to. No, I think I was just trying to find a mate, to be honest. I think I didn't really actually consider queen takes c3 as a problem. It's maybe not the right
Oh, okay.
thought
That
process,
that's a
but
different. Yeah, yeah, that's a different issue for sure.
yeah,
Um,
I kind of yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking. But then I was also did spend a few seconds calculating queen takes f2 first as well.
oh, so queen f2 is your first
Obviously.
candidate.
No, bishop c3 was my first candidate, and then I briefly then I couldn't exactly see what happened, and then I spent maybe 5 seconds or so checking queen takes f2. Obviously, there's not enough pieces to like really do anything there. But I did check that, and then I went back to basically deciding it had to be bishop c3.
Gotcha. And then when you went back to bishop c3, what was your thought process there?
Yeah, then I realized, okay, you just win the queen.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So actually, what I would suggest is to um, maybe even like slow down a little bit, and kind of definitely take a pause when you're on move two of the calculation. So like you see the first move, I want you to be very concrete about like where you think the opponent has to play, and then take a pause before, let's say, thinking about your next move of the sequence. Because like what often happens is, let's say we find the first move, then we see maybe two responses from the opponent, and then that might even confuse us. And what we need to do is actually just like slow down, because I'm sure if you visualize bishop c3 in your head, you'll see that queen takes f2 is the next move. But a lot of times, especially in like Blitz and Puzzle Rush, I think we kind of panic a bit. Where if it like feels a little unclear, we kind of let's say
Yeah.
like things get fuzzy very quickly.
No, I agree.
But that would be one thing. And then secondly, kind of related, if you do feel yourself like you're confused, like maybe you see two solutions, or you're like, I don't get what's going on in this puzzle, that hopefully should be a trigger that like you're missing something and you need to actually kind of like slow down and then take a fresh look and kind of go back to basics, like forcing moves, checks, captures, threats, like all the stuff that I'm sure, I mean, okay, clearly you're familiar with, but that's kind of, it's almost like a mental thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. All right, let's keep doing. Yeah, Kevin, when I say focus on accuracy, I mean, yeah, your first priority should be to not get it wrong versus just going for speed. Because if you really wanted to get your absolute high score in Puzzle Rush, like what I would suggest is to actually go very, very fast, because eventually you'll get a set of easy puzzles that you nail, and then that's what often drives the high score. A lot of people have that experience where maybe they average, I don't know, 30 or something, like when they're doing it normally. But then when you rush and try to get your high score, you might fail some. You might get here. I think just pushing the pawn looks good, unless I'm also missing something. But yeah, this is one of those weird puzzles where it's like an obvious move and it's not clear why that's a puzzle. So it happens. That's like an unlucky puzzle. But eventually, if you do enough runs, you'll get like an easy run where all the puzzles are simple, and then you just like break through you get like 33 when you're normally like max is 30, and that's just kind of like the luck of the draw. But we're not really aiming to get Dodgy his high score here. What we're trying to do is turn him into a calculation machine, where as long as he's seeing the board and it's not too hard, he's going to be able to figure out the solution. Does tactic training involve only puzzle rush? No, definitely not. This is only one part of it. It's a great way to work on like simple tactics and kind of quick calculation. But of course, yeah, especially when it comes to like working on your classical chess, like OTB chess, you do also want to do difficult puzzles where you're sitting there for like 10, 15 minutes calculating, especially at this level, like 2000 FIDE, spending time where you have to really get into your deep thinking mode is very, very important. Okay, this looks like knight c6. But of course, we're training Dodgy for this Chess Punks tournament, which is going to be Blitz and Rapid Chess. So should be 3, very nice. Good board vision there. So for Blitz and Rapid, of course, having very, very fast pattern recognition and very clean and like clear calculation is going to take you a long way. This one looking very good, actually. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing in this one. I think he's been very, very clean so far. Bishop f2. Yeah, takes in b5. And then black's pawns promote. Oh, AB was almost a huge blunder there. Yeah, a4 should definitely be the instinct. You want to push your pawn as far away from white's king as possible, otherwise the king will catch up. Okay, this looks like either queen b6 or rook takes b2. Oh, knight g4 first. Oh, this knight g4 is very nice, actually. Good job there. I was not on the right track. So he's even getting some puzzles that like I'm not blitzing through, which is good. Very good. Okay, this one, I think you just take the bishop here, and yeah, you argue that black has no threats. Second move. Yeah, tricky. But knight f5 probably. Knight f5 looks like. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not. He's worried about rook g2 maybe? Interesting. Oh, it was a knight f5. Okay. Wow. Well, I also got that wrong. Okie dokie. Alrighty, good stuff. Actually, I got that one wrong too. That knight f5 move. I was also thinking knight f5. That was a tough one. That's an unlucky puzzle, I gotta say.
Yeah, some of them go a little bit too long, I think.
Right.
Is it just like if it wants rook g1, then that feels a bit unfair.
I think. I
mean, maybe rook g1 does make sense, I guess.
Yeah, I think that is what it wants. But yeah, that's a tough move to find. It's not really a tactic. It's just clean defensive move.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely keeps you safe.
Okay, but that was overall actually that was very good. I like that run a lot. This other one,
yeah, this one I just guessed.
No time. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
It's the other way, bishop h6.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, I mean with a few seconds left, you're totally okay. Yeah, I was telling chat like if you're trying to go for like the high score, then you should kind of do the opposite of what we're doing and just blitz every run, and eventually you'll get a set of easy puzzles and you'll like blast through your high score. It's just kind of like because you saw
Yeah,
like in some of these you had like mate in one problems on like move 30 or puzzle
yeah, yeah.
30, which is but no, I think the accuracy is definitely a better thing to work on. How much time do you have, by the way? Do you have are you pretty flexible?
Yeah, I can do maybe another 35 minutes ish, and then I probably should sleep because
Okay.
I've got an early start tomorrow.
Okay, great. Why don't we do a survival run so I can
Okay.
see a little bit with how you are with as much time as you need basically.
Yeah, it's
Um,
probably going to be the same. Um, yeah, I don't have a very high score in survival either.
no,
I feel like I
48's
could definitely beat 48.
not bad. I think you can, but yeah, it does take well for some of the puzzles. I mean, you have to spend like maybe serious like 10, 15 minutes even
Hmm.
to figure them out at some point. Okay, I'm gonna mute, but if you get stuck, let me know so we can discuss the problem.
Yep.
All right, cool. Okay, so we're switching to survival. So this is no longer timed. It's still 3 strikes and you're out. Queen e8 looks like mate. This one I think just queen g5. Yeah, using the pin. Yeah, Traxler, you're absolutely right. Knight f5, bishop takes f4, and that was the issue with knight f5, black mates. So it was doable, but that one was definitely like defense puzzles are always very hard because we're trained to look for the forcing moves. Finding like a key defensive move is pretty rare. But maybe that could be something you train. Like on chess.com, you can do custom puzzles and stuff. Okay, what's going on here? This is confusing. What's happening? Is knight f5 check leading to anything? King moves. What's going on? Yeah, this is very confusing. I bet you it's going to be knight f5 check, rook takes f5, rook takes, and then the computer doesn't ask, what white does on the most critical defense, like king f8. But I guess knight f5, king f8, knight d6. The engine says it's good for white, but this puzzle, I think, is low rated, I'm guessing, because many people just blitz out knight f5, the computer goes rook takes f5, white goes rook takes f5, and then it doesn't ask them to find anything after knight f5 check. Yeah. Yeah, I totally called that one. I knew it. I knew knight f5 was right. I knew the engine is going to play rook takes f5. But of course,
Hmm.
that's not why you're hesitating, right?
Yeah, that wasn't what I was trying to figure out now.
Yeah, classic
But
puzzle
yeah,
rush.
yeah. Okay.
What were you thinking, by the way, on like, let's say black had played like king f8 there or something?
Honestly, like I decided it wasn't rook takes f4, and I couldn't see anything other than knight f5. So,
Oh, okay.
like,
Fair enough.
I decided that like there was just nothing else, and it must be knight f5, and it's probably going to do something weird. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a good call. I imagine the next move was knight d6 for white, which like kind of forces black to take your rook on f1. Then you recapture with your rook, and then I assume the engine says that position is winning, and that's why it didn't.
yeah,
It
it looked
didn't
like there
ask you
was
for
some
it.
kind of weirdness where the knight ends up hanging on f6 at the end, and you can do something. But yeah, it was a not the best puzzle, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Um,
All right, that's cool though. Let's keep going. Yeah, this is just main and two. Ooh, okay, gotta pause here, figure out which way the pawns are going. But yeah, this is simple. A5. Pawn just runs down to a4. Okay, next. Let's see. It looks like it's bishop e6 and then queen a6 with eventually a skewer on the rook. King c8, queen a8 check. Okay, this is takes and rook e8. Yeah, the patterns are there. The patterns are absolutely there for Dodgy. Queen hangs. This could be bishop h6 first, then f4. f4, rook takes f4. Actually, no, check. King, no. I think queen f1 check first. Because if bishop h6, king can go to b1, and then white covers. Ooh, I don't like this. Queen f1 first. Ooh, yeah. That was too fast. Okay, this is check, and yeah, take the knight. This looks like double check, and then mate. Oh, he's reaching for the king. That's not good. There we go. Alright, what's happening here? Looks like bishop h4. Yeah, mate in 2. Yeah, a lot of these are easier than some of the previous ones he got. Okay, weird position. Gotta pause here, try to evaluate what's happening. It could just be queen takes h8. Just take twice on h8, and then the a pawn is unstoppable. Yeah, take your time here. Take your time until you're absolutely sure. Oh, there we go. His cursor's on the right track. Nice. Okay, here he wants to take. And then give check and go g6, which I think is mate. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, so the attacking instincts, I think, are there as well. Okay, this looks like rook e7. Yeah, king has to go back, and then queen comes in. Check, and yeah, queen takes h6. Okay, this is simple trade in d4. Yeah, the patterns are definitely there. This looks like check knight d5 is leading to mate. Rook e8 at the end. Knight e7, rook e7. Okay, a bit of board vision needed here. You know, check king e7. You got to see knight d5 covers the f6 square. King comes up, and then rook e8. Very good. Okay, next one. This could be a queen g5 brilliancy. Not an easy move to spot. The idea is we want knight e2, rook f1. I wonder what's the requirement for the dojo for the 2100s or 2000s? What do they need in Puzzle Rush? So puzzle survival. Oh, we want to get them to 52. Okay, so that's a good goal. The 5-minute benchmark is 36. Yeah, that's too low. That's too low. We got to up that. But the survival benchmark is 52, which is definitely a good goal. 55 for survival. Yeah, that's good, Merles. That's good. What's your I know you're a strong player, but what's your rating about? Dodgy, he's in the 2000 2100 cohort. So 2000 FIDE, we're looking for them to aim for 52. Oh, he spotted it. Very nice. Where do you get the benchmark? So that's, Mike, that's something that's part of our dojo training program, where we have the benchmarks for every level. Nice find. Very nice. So we have them for, honestly, I think they're a little low because most people in the program, it's like the first thing they achieve. Like, okay, wait, what's this here? This is not so obvious to me because you have check, king h2, queen f4, check, g3. Oh, we found queen c1. Oh, very nice. I didn't even see queen c1. Very nice. Way too low. Yeah. Yeah, I think we should up them. Dave, your survival is 52. Oh, nice. That seems high. What's your rating, Dave? Or what band are you in if you're in the program? Yeah, exactly. So for you, I think our benchmark is like way lower, which is not necessarily a terrible thing. In general, you know, people are doing plenty of tactics, so it's often not exactly their issue. But I feel like we should up it. I mean, to be clear, I think most players, like especially below 2000, they stand to improve a lot in their tactics and calculation. Not necessarily just from doing Puzzle Rush. You know, Puzzle Rush again is great for like simple tactics, pattern recognition, things like that. But once you start to get to higher levels, you need to. That's interesting. Which bishop to take? Well, king b7, rook b1. So yeah, got to take on a7. But once you get to higher levels, you do have to work more on like this level of puzzle. Like once you get to the 40s, where it's not just a matter of simple pattern recognition, but you have to calculate a little bit or spot some idea, this is definitely the stuff to work on. But it's all about the levels. For lower rated players, like under, let's say, 1500 FIDE, I think most of the work is just solving simple tactics, combinations, focusing on patterns, trying to get the first 30 puzzles right without mistakes. I think that's the first step. Once you're there, once you kind of have like the basic tactics down, you're like seeing stuff like, 1 or 2 move tactics, you see those quickly, then that's when it's like you have to start developing the deeper thinking. And that's when combination books start to come in, things like chess tactics from scratch, manual of combinations, these kinds of books. These are needed. For some players, though, tactics and calculation is not their issue. In fact, for Dodgy, I think for players of his level, I think especially his pattern recognition is really solid. And okay, he's already at 44. I mean, his high is 48, so I'm sure he can blast through that because these puzzles are still not too difficult. Yeah, getting to 40 without a miss. Yeah, I think that's definitely like, yeah, I'm much more interested for people to try to do that versus like just trying to get the high score, because consistency is more important. Okay, this is interesting. Classic question, comparison problem. Got to take with one of the rooks. But this one I think is correct because king f8, rook g8, rook g7, and then rook e6 wins the rook. And yeah, he spots it. Yeah, a lot of this stuff, honestly, he's like, okay, a few problems he got right that I wasn't getting right. And there's quite a few that, okay, I spot very quickly, but then he's like right behind me, So it definitely feels like, queen h7 first. Or... but if you take with the pawn, queen takes. So yeah, queen h7. And I think now take with the pawn. Yeah, because now it's mate. Now white's just giving mate here. Very good. Ooh, this is definitely some kind of mate. Queen somewhere. He's looking at knight e2, knight b5. I think queen f2. Queen f2 definitely feels right, but let's try to calculate. Oh, no, knight b5. Yeah, knight b5 is main in 2, actually. Oh, he's going too fast. He's going too fast. Oh, that was too fast. Knight b5 was main in 2 there. King e5, queen f5, king c4, queen b3. Not an easy mate in 2, but definitely solvable if he had spent more time there. So that's kind of that's definitely the main thing. Okay, classic you're in check type of problem. Honestly, it looks like almost every move wins, so this is a little surprising. I guess king h8, white can give check and then repeat, so definitely not king h8. So either king g8 or king h6. Why not king h6? I'm actually... Oh, I think king g8 here is smart, because then you have rook g4 check and white's rook is still hanging. On king h6, white can move the knight and keep the game going. So he's taking some time here to try to figure it out. Very good. Now just rook g4. Yeah, just attack the knight. And this is the problem for white, is that their pieces are hanging. So rook g4, the knight is undermined. And that's it. He hit his high score. He should definitely try to get more here. Okay, this is tricky because white, white is down full queen here, but rook takes g8 definitely seems like the start. And now the question is, do we have some nice follow-up here, like bishop f5 check? Ooh, he wants to take. Ooh, I think that's too fast. Yeah, bishop f5. Really needs to calculate here. Bishop f5, king d6, knight e4, for example, or knight b5 even. Or maybe take on b7, actually. He might be right, actually. Rook takes d8 might be good, and then just take on b7. Uh-oh. We'll see if he figures it out. But that's the thing. Once you get into the harder puzzles, nice. Once you get to the harder stuff, you have to learn to recognize when you're confused and then use that as a trigger to spend time in that exact moment, because it means you're missing something. You're like not clear about the solution, you're not seeing a possible defense or a resource. So you have to be very vigilant. That one was confusing because bishop f5 looked interesting because it's like giving another check and the king is running around, but concretely it didn't work out. It was much stronger what he did, just take on b7. So it was good. He kind of like was second guessing a bit, but but that's a good thing because then it led him to the right solution. Okay, this one definitely needs to be calculated. So we have a lot of checks. To me, it looks like maybe knight g5 was a good start, and then rook d8 wins the queen. Yeah, all right. Okay, nice. Be your high score. That wasn't too. It wasn't too unexpected. Actually, I just checked. So in the program for your cohort 2000, the top benchmark we want you guys to hit is 52 for the survival.
Okay.
So you're very close to that. In fact, I think you could have gotten it here if you had just spent like a little bit more time on some of these puzzles, because I think you were actually very close.
Yeah, this one.
This one was tricky. Yeah, you went bishop h6 check.
Yeah. So I guess thought my thought was that it was either queen f1 or bishop h6, and I
Right.
thought if we start with queen f1, king d2, bishop h6, then the king gets out somewhere, but maybe. Oh, I missed rook takes f3.
Yeah, the rook f3 is mate. But on bishop h6 first, what are white's options there?
Yeah, I planned f4 and the rook takes f4.
Mm-hmm. But then, other than f4?
Yeah, there's rook d2.
Other than rook d2, what else can white do?
King d2 there? No,
Well, bishop h6.
that's illegal.
Yeah,
The king d1 is mate,
that's mate.
so
Last move.
what am I missing here? Now f4 works?
No, not f4. Different move.
Yeah, I think my brain is shutting down at this point.
Yeah, that's okay. King b1. King goes the other way, and then can block on c1.
Jesus,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. No, I'm sure you could see it given
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
time. It's just a question of giving yourself that time to.
Yeah,
spot
no,
it.
that just wasn't on my radar at all. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Yeah.
But that's okay. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go
I kind of
to-
totally miscalculated this one quite badly. The other one.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was tricky. Actually, let me tell you. So I'm solving these while you're doing it. A few of them you solved where I was giving the wrong solution to chat. so
Okay,
so let
that's
me
good.
say, like you're doing really well. In fact, your especially your pattern recognition is absolutely there. Like you're seeing the patterns very very quickly. So I don't think that's your issue. I think your problem is more it's like when it's tricky, just kind of forcing yourself to like break it down concretely and
Yeah, I I have pretty. I don't even know if poor calculation is the word. I think it is lazy calculation. I don't
yeah.
mean it in the way that like, oh, I'm lazy. I just don't want to work. It's like it's very sloppy calculation I've noticed over the last couple of years. I think it is mostly from playing too much internet chess and not very little classical. Um,
Right.
but I've noticed my calculation skills have seriously deteriorated over the last kind of 5 or 6 years. Because the brain just doesn't want to do the work, I guess.
Yeah. No, no. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I think it might come from Blitz and Rapid, especially like we were talking. You play a lot of like 10-0, like no increment chess, and that you know in that game you absolutely have to play quickly. Like that's just part of the strategy.
Yeah,
So that's not going to lend itself to slowing down. And 9 times out of 10, just playing the like quick obvious move with your hand is probably going to lead to better results than spending extra time. Maybe you find a better move, maybe you don't, but you end up flagging regardless.
yeah.
For classical chess, of course, especially like you're very decent level, like 2,000 FIDE, trying to go up. I yeah. Let me just say, like your quick tactics are fine. So if someone blunders something simple against you, I think you'll see it. So the challenge I think for you to work on will be recognizing the moments where you need to like slow down and work a little bit harder in that position. So this one, for example, I think you went with knight e2 check, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I thought the idea was that if you start with knight b5,
Mm-hmm.
king c4, then you've given up the b5 square. So it can run, the king runs that way. That was kind of my thought process. And I thought if knight e2, then this is just mate. Uh, I
Yeah.
guess I didn't really consider properly that this isn't
Right.
actually.
Yeah, you were
Yeah, I
solving
kind
it
of thought
almost
queen f5 was
intuitively,
mate.
but it's yeah, it's not a like strategic puzzle like positional play. This is very very concrete calculation. So knight b5, king c4, you have mate there that you have to find.
Okay, so just queen b3 is mate.
Queen b3. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was yeah. I got very distracted by queen d3 and queen c3, and yeah, I
Same.
didn't actually
Actually,
go
I'll,
for that.
I'll I'll tell you how it went for me. So here, while you're solving this one, my first thought was queen f6. Then I saw that's hanging. So then I thought queen f2.
I think I actually thought that at first as well.
Yeah, queen f6, king c4. It looks great. b3. But okay, it doesn't work. So queen f2, then king goes maybe to e5, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, I don't quite see the win there. And then I saw we have these two knight checks, like knight e2, knight b5. And then, okay, intuitively, I felt like probably one of these two moves. I think I was thinking knight e2 first, but then, yeah, king e5, queen f5 check, king d6, and, okay, no clear mates. So then I looked at knight b5, king c4. I also looked at queen d3 first, king b4, then I went back, and finally I saw, okay, knight b5 and queen b3. So basically, like, it also takes me quite a bit of steps to get there. But apart from the speed, I think the difference is that I'm kind of like willing to do the work. Like if I'm not sure at first, I try one move. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, let's try another move. Okay, that's also not working. Then let's jump somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something that comes with time, basically. Let's go back.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of
Mhm.
habit I need to rebuild, to be honest.
No, exactly. So there was one where you did absolutely the right thing. Where if you remember, it was one of the later ones. It starts with rook takes knight on g8 check, king goes to d7, and then the queen is hanging. No, not this one. Not this one. Though this one, that one you also solved, which was good because that one wasn't obvious at first. This one,
Oh, this one, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to find a mate here for a long time.
right?
Um, and
Which is fine.
yeah, I decided that there's no, there's, there's no checks with the bishop, basically. So we should start with rook takes g8.
Yeah,
Um, and then I was still trying to find a mate because you can definitely attack all the squares that the king goes to, but I thought the main point is that after bishop f5, king c6, like there's just no checks at all. Well, I mean,
right.
you can go back, but like, and then yeah, obviously you just grab the material instead.
Yeah. So this one, like, yeah, you did well because I think, well, I think you were hovering over the queen at first, so you wanted to play rook d8. Then, okay, it was clear that you were calculating bishop f5 check, which I also was because it's a check, and maybe you have mate. And then eventually you figured out, oh, actually there's no mate, and then you
Mm.
realize, okay, you can take on b7, and you're winning material, which is exactly how you kind of should be approaching these problems. Like when you're not sure at first, like check one option. If it's clear,
Yeah.
good. If it's not, check the second option. If that's also not clear, maybe go back to option one. Like maybe you missed something, right?
Mhm.
And that's often how these solutions are found. And during the game, of course, you've probably had this experience. Like, yeah, first you look at it, it doesn't make sense, then you come back to it, you convince yourself it's actually the best thing you've got.
Yeah. In an over the board game, I would definitely spend a few minutes here just checking that there's no mate for
Yeah,
sure. Like assuming I had time on the clock.
as you should.
I would
Exactly.
definitely take the time here.
Yeah. So good. I know you're tired, so I think let's end it there. I would definitely suggest doing more survival and these like kind
Mhm.
of tougher puzzles because I think this is where I think you can stand to improve. Your like quick tactics and pattern recognition. Honestly, I didn't see. Okay, the one tactic I noticed maybe I noticed it took you a little bit of time in some of those like a few of those puzzles that end in a king and pawn endgame, and then you have to calculate to make sure your pawn is faster than the king.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like a little bit slow there than I would have expected. I don't know, but for the most part, yeah, I don't see any issues with your speed. More just the difficult calculation.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I've started to do more of the not so much survival, but like the actual rated puzzles on here.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, another thing I wanted to suggest if you go to puzzles, you can do the custom.
mhm.
And one topic that I would definitely suggest you try is the defensive puzzles because
Okay.
basically those force you to work through your options because generally defense puzzles are not going to be like thematic. It's more like you're in check, you have three options and two of them lose or two of them draw, one of them wins, and the only way to
Yeah.
figure it out is just by like cold comparison. Like if I play here, the opponent has this and this. If I play here, they have this move. If I play here, I don't see a win, so it must be that.
Yeah. No, that's a good tip. Yeah. I think the defensive puzzles are very difficult for most people and
Yeah,
probably like one of the more practically useful things to learn as well, because like no one is really good at defending naturally. Um,
right. No, absolutely. Yeah, I think they're the hardest because yeah, you don't really practice them. They're not fun, and but they're so important because in the game, you'll have so many moments where you need precise calculation, but there's not a lot of like thematic patterns to be working with, and so it's just about just about the arrangement of the pieces, board vision, seeing what can attack what, especially recognizing the forcing moves for your opponent, of course, is super important as well.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
that would that would be my thing. And try to get at least 52. I think you definitely can, based on just like this one run. I'm sure you can blast past that actually.
I think I can get there. It
And
seems
then
manageable. Cool.
yeah,
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate this.
absolutely.
Yeah, I hope I
I
do well in the tournament, but we'll see.
it was all helpful. Yeah, we'll be wishing you luck. Maybe if we have time, I'd love to do another lesson on just the complete other side of chess, like
Hmm.
positional play, planning. Um, Generally, I feel like your calculation actually is quite decent, which suggests that the positional side of the game might be a bigger issue. Generally, you're strong in one, weak in the other for most players.
Yeah, I would say so for sure. Like I think tactically, especially in, relatively fast games, I can definitely compete with players that are much stronger than me in classical that you know, basically I've had maybe I think I've played 5 classical games against grandmasters and I don't feel like I've had a game of chess against any of them.
Mm.
Like I've just been thoroughly outplayed. But in Blitz against kind of regular 24, 2500 grandmasters, I'm pretty competitive. Like I'm not saying that I'll beat everyone, but if I was to beat a player of that level of Blitz, it's really not a massive surprise. Because when things get trickier, I'm definitely more competitive there than when things are slow and they've got time
Yeah. What
to
is your
think.
blitz rating, by the way, on Lee Chess?
It's I think I've dropped a bit recently. I'm around about 23, 2400 usually. I think on chess.com I somehow lost like quite a bit of rating, but yeah, it's usually in that range. I
Yeah.
think I've peaked just about 2500
Yeah, that's
on
that's good. I mean, I'm
chess.
2,500, so that's like that's definitely I think good. For like you're
Yeah.
basically someone like of your classic rating. Okay, cool. Then yeah, definitely I'll try to take a look at your games, see if I can figure out like maybe there's some types of positions where the plans aren't as obvious to you, or the hand isn't quite as
Yeah.
confident.
No, I would really appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I guess like I would say the most obvious thing for me is like the thing I clearly struggle with is like queenless middle games.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Interesting.
almost clueless and consistently lose them against probably lower rated players as well. I would say. So,
Okay, I'm glad you
yeah.
mentioned that. Actually, I'll keep an eye on that and see if we can work on that specifically.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. But yeah, thanks very much for having me on. I've really appreciated it. And
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully, it was useful for you and for the chats. But yeah, this was fun.
cool.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Talk to you. Talk
Yeah.
to you next time.